I'm Josiah Rizzo.
I'm Benji Jones.
And on Wednesdays, we wear pink. Benji, do you know how hard it is for me to bite my lip and keep it shut when you are on the phone talking with your family?
No, I don't. Actually, I do. Because you were sitting in the car,
Yeah.
literally biting your lip because you wanted to give your opinion on this movie.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't either. I just had to... I got the privilege of listening to my brother just rant.
I told you. So we just got back from seeing the film that we're going to be talking about, which is
The Lion King.
I don't speak Swahili, so I apologize for those who do. It was, you were in the car, or we got out of the film, and I told you.
No, immediately, I think before we got into the film, you were like, okay, so we can't talk about this.
As soon as the credits rolled,
right,
I said,
you were like, we can't talk about this until we get home to film this
no more
episode.
Than 1 to 2 minutes later, you were on the phone with your brother.
Well, okay, so I had missed a call from him, and my brother rarely calls me, so I always make sure to answer his calls, because every time he calls, I know it's something important.
Right.
So I was like, I called him back, and I was like, I'm sorry, because I had missed it. Literally, he called me 4 minutes after the movie started. So I was like, I'm sorry, because immediately he goes, oh, well, now you can answer my call. I called you. I'm about to go to bed. He's like going off on me, and I was like, I'm sorry. I was in a movie. I just saw Lion King. I'm literally walking out of the theater right now, and he goes, what? Okay, well, perfect. That's good, because I literally just sent you a snap and I said, you have to see Lion King because I just saw it and I need you to talk about it. So good. I'm going to tell you what I think about this movie.
Unfortunately, Josiah Rizzo was like the fun police. I was hovering over you like a hawk, just like, don't you dare.
I kept trying to like trail away from you so that I could talk with my brother and say what I thought about it, because it was just that I couldn't talk to you about it. Like, not that I couldn't talk about it.
Well, that's true. But there was some things you said in the car that was like, save it for the camera.
What,
Benjamin?
Well, the good thing about... whatever is whatever.
I'm Josiah Rizzo.
I'm Benji Jones.
And on Wednesdays, we wear pink.
pink.
But today's not Wednesday, so we're not wearing pink.
We're not wearing pink, guys.
It's no rules.
That really only affects the people who are watching on YouTube, by the way. But,
I know.
You know, whatever. It's no rules, no holds barred.
No rules. I'm
just
bumping this. There's water in these cups.
There's actual liquids in the cups for once.
Oh, right. There's a water in my cup. Benji, what are you drinking for the audience?
Vodka.
Delicious. Goes down rough.
So this is our pop culture podcast where we talk about our experiences with film and media.
And everything else.
Yes! I love that happened, because I don't look as bad anymore for the last episode.
Basically we talk about the impact that film and media has left on us or is leaving on us.
Exactly.
Like I said, we just saw The Lion King.
The Lion King 2019, the remake.
Yep.
So this movie was starring Beyonce.
Is that it?
So it starts off...
Wait,
obviously,
you can't just
shot for shot of the original movie. We're not wasting any more time on anybody else. There was nobody else in this movie.
Okay, that's a little obnoxious. It obviously starred Donald Glover.
Yeah,
and other people.
And Seth Rogen and what's his name? I always forget it.
Are you talking about Billy Eichner?
Billy Eichner as Timon and Pumbaa, and I think they were perfectly cast on that. I mean, obviously Beyonce and Donald were perfectly cast too, and obviously James Earl Jones as Mufasa.
Yeah, who'd have thought, who I wonder who casted him.
I wonder what
do you think that casting agent gets right? Residuals like hey,
I'd be like the original one who cast him in the first movie in 92, 94.
Right.
That was like, hey, he's my casting. I get paid for that. That's really funny though. But there's some people
also
that were like
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people were upset about James Earl Jones being Mufasa again. Did you feel that way?
Oh, okay, yeah. Are we just gonna get into it?
Yeah.
No initial thoughts.
Well, I was just gonna say this really quickly, and then we can get into initial thoughts.
I love James Earl Jones, and I still love him as Mufasa. I will say it's hard it's hard both watching and listening to the people you love grow older. I noticed this in Rogue One because he reprised the role of Darth Vader in that. And even though Darth Vader is like always sounds like he's dying, there was a distinct difference hearing his voice and God, I don't even remember.
It wasn't exact. Yeah.
It sounded older and I was just like, oh, bro. And it's supposed to be like, especially in Rogue One. In this one, it didn't matter as much in terms of like continuity, but it was a little off-putting to hear James Earl Jones do Darth Vader between the prequels and the original trilogy. And he was like, he went from sounding kind of young to sounding kind of old to back to New Hope when he sounds like the first time we ever heard him as Darth Vader. So
interesting.
I mean, he's pushing it. I think he's like 90 something. So
wow.
Guys, I can't stress enough. No research was done for this episode.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's like 90. Like he was probably like 40 or 50 when he did the original. It was like 20 years ago. So now
let's just
like
say the wrinkles 70. On his face are not from an app. So, still, I love him. I liked him.
I think he was great. He didn't. I was really excited when I heard that. I was like, bro, who else is gonna be Mufasa? Like, yeah, he is Mufasa. So there is no other choice.
And do you still stand by that?
I do. Honestly, though, like watching the whole movie, I was like, I guess they could have changed everybody out. I love that nod to him was given, like that respect of like, you are Mufasa. I don't disagree with it, but if they were to cast somebody else, I would have loved to see Idris Elba.
Oh, yeah. Mufasa. I didn't even think about that.
He'd been fantastic. But other than that, yeah. Or I would have liked to see him as maybe grown Simba, because
you wanted to see James. Oh, you wanted to see Idris Elba. No, I absolutely
loved. The one thing is just I felt like Beyonce's voice was too mature for.
I loved it. No,
for
because that's
Donald Glover.
All right, let's just skip to it. I love my favorite part about this film my second favorite part about this film was Donald Glover as Simba. I thought there was a real weight. Like as soon as he started talking, you could hear his amazing voice. But you could hear also like the kind of the despair in his voice. And like you said, yeah, he doesn't sound like Beyonce, because Beyonce's character of Nala, I mean, she's like grown up like in real intensity
rough times, and he's grown up all casual and fun.
And kind of like he's not really grown up. That's kind of the point of that character, is that he's still a boy.
So I really
like, that was actually, if there was one thing I thought needed updating, I loved his voice way above and beyond Matthew Broderick.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Matthew Broderick will just always be Simba to me, so I do love this choice, but also like, I mean, not above Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick just doesn't,
or Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, now when we get to that, yeah, why don't we? I'll touch on that, but why don't we talk about our initial thoughts?
So let's go through them. Initially, I just Lion King has never been my favorite Disney movie. I enjoy it. I don't watch it a lot. I only recently realized that it's my brother's all-time favorite Disney movie.
You mean when he was like calling you up to rant?
Yeah, he called me up and we talked for about. It wasn't an hour, right? It was a while.
No, it didn't take an hour to drive from Burbank to
yeah, that's right. But it was a little bit for that. Anyways, but yeah, after he was saying it, I was like, right, you always do quote that movie. And I was like, yeah, okay, it is your movie. But yeah, it's just never been number one for me. I enjoy it when I watch it. I don't watch it a lot. So when they were remaking it, I was like, cool, that'll be fun to see. I wasn't super invested in like the casting and everything. I wasn't like, oh my God, this person can't do this. This person can do that, blah, 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 blah. I saw Beyonce signed on and I said, I will be there. And then, and then we went and saw it. And I wasn't disappointed too much.
The older I get, the less contrarian I become. But there was definitely a certain point of my life when I was just like, if everybody liked one thing, oh, you best believe I hated it.
Yeah.
I never found The Lion King that interesting when I was a kid. And that was just like a literal personal thing. It had nothing to do with anyone else. Yeah. I just kind of find it boring. The older I got and the more people just like showered praise upon it, the more my contrarian, immature side was just like, you know what? The Lion King is overrated. It's overrated. It's not even that. Does The Lion King have Robin Williams? Am I the only one who remembers Aladdin?
Oh my God.
You like how I brought that back?
Nice.
But because we last minute decided to do this, and I went over to your place last night and we watched the original. And that was the first time I had watched it
in years. I was actually surprised at how good it was.
I was surprised at how little I remembered it.
I remembered everything actually. Like
Did you really?
As it was coming there, I'd be like, oh right, and then this, because I would remember the scenes. Like when the scene started, I'd be like, oh right, and then all this happens.
I had a very foggy. It wasn't, like I said, it was never my favorite.
Yeah.
Aladdin was my all-time favorite. So we were rewatching it. It was kind of like, it was this great mix of having something nostalgic, but also having something kind of like brand new. So I got to kind of, and those are some of my favorite movies. There are only a very few bunch of movies where I can kind of like rewatch them on that fine line of like, I enjoy it, but I never fully remember what's happening. I know, the second Bourne film is like that for me. The Bourne Supremacy. I always am kind of like, does it happen in this film or does it happen in a third one? Then it'll happen. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it.
Actually, with Aladdin,
really?
I always the first Aladdin. I always think of when he's constricting him as the snake. When Jafar is constricting Aladdin as the snake, I expect him to blow up and turn red and then turn into the genie and be like, gotcha, because that happens in the second one. Which I realized
I do remember
after
that.
he doesn't turn into the genie every time I watch it. I'm like, wait, isn't he genie right now? And they're like, but when did they even have time to switch? And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's the second one.
Wow. It's fun. That is fun. I mean, they say you can never re-enjoy your favorite films, like experience it for the first time. And watching The Lion King last night, the original, was definitely different for me because I just went, oh, I didn't remember half of this.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I remembered that I liked it. Like,
Dude.
I remember when I watched it again, I remember enjoying it. Like, I was like, oh, I did like this movie. I just didn't. It wasn't my favorite.
I will say I can see how 5-year-old Josiah was bored by it.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at that kid. I just... Dude, watching it now, knowing that the music was composed by Hans Zimmer, and just like it's consistently foreboding. It's got an absolute. It takes the imagery of Africa and just makes this beautiful palette. The music, oh my! Like I said the music twice. It's music, images. Music. You said music twice.
That's music twice.
Twice
funny,
music.
I think for me, like. Just as a kid, I think I just tuned out on Timon and Pumbaa. Like, I don't think I liked them as a kid.
Really?
And I still don't really love them. I loved them in this movie, actually.
Oh,
but like as a kid, I think like it was just so heavy, like what was going on in his life, that I wasn't ready for comedy. Like I didn't. His dad just died. He ran away. He was like ready to die. And then like these two characters come in. And they're like, oh, Kuna Matata, no worries, let's have fun. And I'm like, dude, your dad died. Like, take time to grieve. Like, don't run off. Like, it frustrated me. Like, because I'm not a like run away from your problems type of person. I don't think.
Right.
So that whole situation just always bugged me as a kid, and I just like I didn't tune back in until he came back. So like,
what's interesting?
I was more interested in his direct storyline.
What's interesting for me is watching the original. I kind of agree with you, actually.
Yeah.
I really love the first half of the film.
The first part.
Up until Timon and Pumbaa. I still like it, but I realized I felt the same because the first half of the movie is just this beautiful Macbethian, like, drama.
Yeah.
There's funny parts, but it's kind of, the humor is very tempered. It exists. It feels very, like, I don't know. It makes sense. It doesn't break the character of the tone.
Yeah.
It's constantly foreboding.
Yeah.
Like, the music is always just, like, hinting at something grander and more epic.
Yeah.
His father dies, which is really heavy, like the climax of that first half. And then we get to the desert. And then, of course, like, you need levity. But I do, I kind of tune out. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. Because, like I said, I just, like, once Matthew Broderick came on, I was like, that's okay. In this film, I didn't like the first half of it.
Yeah.
But then, once it got to Timon and Pumbaa, I went, I really like this.
I don't know why, because the first half kind of drug for me on this. But, like...
It's almost as if they should cut the second half of the first one.
Just cut the two movies to
just bastard
together.
Frankenstein's monster.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
And there you go. The Lion King 2020.
Frankenstein's
That's the version
monster.
we have.
But Yeah, no. Oh, what were you saying? You were saying.
I was saying I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think Timon and Pumbaa fit more in this because I really like that they leaned into kind of the whole it means no worries, aka we're not really considering anybody but ourselves.
Yeah.
And it had a more thematic arc for it's like, hey, don't consider anybody. He's like, I don't know. I think
they took a lot of time to really explain the arcs like that and what people were thinking and why things were important in this one, whereas like in the other one they just kind of like, it's a cartoon, have fun, and like if you wanted to really really read into it you could find those things, but like this one they kind of like, this is a kids movie, let's say it for them.
Don't mistake me though, the original is way better than this film.
I agree. I agree,
heads and tails better than this film.
But what I was gonna say is I think why I didn't enjoy Timon and Pumbaa in the last one in the original was because, like you say about musicals, when like you don't like when they halt the story for like a song, I feel like their whole arc was a halt because his story was like, my dad died, who's gonna be the next king? I have to be the king. And then he runs off and we're at a halt because we don't know what his story is. He's just like, because obviously he's not going to stay there for the rest of his life, so it's kind of like there's nothing going on. You're just here doing
Whereas
nothing.
in this one, it felt more like an actual pit stop where it was like, he's here, and the reason he's here is because he is avoiding his problems, which, they obviously...
I mean, it's the same in the other one. I just feel like maybe in this one, I just enjoyed Seth Rogen and...
Oh, my God. Once again, the singing from Nathan Lane. Oh, Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner enough that I didn't care.
Right. Well, the original voice actors definitely had better vocals.
Well, what's funny to me is this is when you played the song for me before we saw the movie, I was like, I feel like this song is one person trying too hard and another person not trying at all.
Right.
Because like literally Billy Eichner was like, it means no worries for the rest of your days. And he was like going for it. And then, Seth Rogen, Pumbaa, was just like, Hakuna Matata. Oh, what a wonderful phrase. And I was like,
is that your best Seth Rogen impersonation?
No, because I can't think of the actual, like, what parts everybody's saying. So I, like, can't do the actual voice. That's a terrible Seth Rogen.
It's better than whatever the hell you just did.
I was just, like, making a general bad
Seth Rogen.
voice.
Hi, I am Seth. That's actually not.
Anyways, I'm just saying, one person was going all out and the other person wasn't doing anything. It's like anytime me and you karaoke together.
Hey, I do a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, all right. So we both agree, Timon and Pumbaa, I love them in this version.
Love them.
Absolutely. There were some lines, what did he say? So, how you doing in as few words as possible?
And you, like, over the entire theater.
Yeah. Like I said in the last episode, the older I get, the less in control of my...
reactions. When he enjoys something, you will know it. What was the cry count on this movie, by the way?
Not as much.
2? Was it 2 times?
I didn't cry when Mufasa died in this one.
Did you tear up at all?
Kind of. But it was only really because I remember the original one.
Yeah, it wasn't for some reason it wasn't as impactful. I think because but this is something that people were complaining about too, is that there's not a lot of emotion.
Ooh, okay.
On the
Let me tell you,
faces.
When people were bitching about that in clips on YouTube, I didn't agree. I was just like, guys, it's like it's a 5-second clip. It's okay. They're doing their best. Like, not that they're doing their best. I was just like, you can tell in the body language.
Yeah.
Every character except freaking Simba had more body language. They all like actually like they did stuff like even Nala when she was a cub and when she was a lioness, she like was doing stuff with her face. They constantly like the whole ears back. Bitch, when Simba found out he was in trouble with his father Mufasa, he literally was just like
standing there looking like
he was like, I need to teach my son a lesson. Cut to.
Just sitting there with his eyes wide open.
I was like, "Are you?" And
I was like, "You're a cat. You don't do puppy dog eyes. You have to like."
I don't give a shit.
Literally, when we were
watching it, if they can give Beyonce Nala eyelashes,
oh my gosh! Hashtag Nala's lashes, because like I don't know if you guys noticed that. Let me know if you did. But like when they did the "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" and they gave her little beauty shot, she said she like looked and her lashes were on fleek. Like
she had lashes, but she had more expression throughout that entire film. Like whenever Scar first rolls up, when he's like, "I'm assuming the mantle," and Nala was like she had a face. Yeah. I'm like, Simba gave nothing.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm really disappointed in that cat's acting.
I have to say, I'm so sorry to the child actors, but I really did not like them.
Maybe
they sounded like they were in a studio.
Yeah, maybe they weren't directed well or something.
I don't know what
they did. Yeah,
like I said, the second half of the film really enjoyed. Yeah. I liked the voice acting. Loved the voice acting from Donald Glover. Beyonce, she did it. She was good.
She did the damn thing.
Her voice is amazing. But gosh darn it, like those kids, they literally just sounded like they were in a booth in between takes at some Disney Channel show.
It's also hard because since the lions didn't have a lot of facial expressions that they could rely on, it really relied a lot on the voice acting. And if you're not going to blow it out of the water, it's not going to come out well.
I actually thought that too, because I was sitting there wondering, like, why do these kids sound like they couldn't care less about doing this? Mm-hmm. And why do they sound so dead? And I realized, like, well, I guess if you're going for a very realistic, natural approach with the way the characters look and they talk and they're not, like, being really obnoxious or, gaudy, then you kind of have to match it with your fly.
Voice? Yeah.
How many flies do we have in the quote-unquote studio right now?
I think one.
No, there's two. There's one right there and there's one right there.
Okay, well.
How many flies do you guys think we have?
Count them for us.
Oh, we have fun.
Really
yeah, there's
annoying.
two. And they're just, like, sitting around like, hey, what's up? I'm a fly.
I'm gonna be in your podcast.
Do you ever watch the just gonna do this point, then we'll get back to like kind of from start to finish really quickly. Did you ever watch Fantastic Mr. Fox?
No.
Why do I do this podcast with you?
Because I don't watch the things you watch.
So Fantastic Mr. Fox was an animated film by Wes Anderson, a director that you probably named.
He does the scary movies.
I hate you so much. Wes Anderson did the Grand Budapest Hotel. He did Rushmore. He did Moonrise Kingdom. You ever see that? Anyway, he did
Jeepers Creepers, didn't he?
No. What? Get out of here. He did Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was an animated film, and I remember watching a behind-the-scenes featurette on that, and they had the actors outside recording their lines.
Yeah.
And then they were like, so if the character was running, you actually saw
that they were running. And
George Clooney, like, running. He was obviously dressed in, like, pajamas, but he was still running, and you could hear it. And these kids, they were just like, their characters were hopping around, and they were like, hey, where are we going? Oh, the watering hole. Okay, cool.
Water hole. What's so great about a water hole?
Yeah, and the original, obviously this isn't live action, so we can pretty much compare like shot for shot, voice for voice, what they did. Visually, amazing. Voice-wise, they sounded bored.
Yeah.
They sounded... Your roommate said this. I have to give him credit. But he said it sounded like they had been taking a long nap. Someone splashed some water and they was like, hey, you guys have to record your lines, but still sound tired. Go. That's what it sounded like. Even, unfortunately, I love you, James Earl Jones.
It sounded like they got paid up front.
Probably. What did you like, though?
Beyonce, of course. I liked that.
Did you like her just because she's Beyonce, or did you actually like her?
I actually
she was good.
I did. She was Beyonce. I'm trying to think. Obviously, loved Timon and Pumbaa. They were super funny in this. I actually liked Zazu.
Yes, I did too.
Obviously, don't like the original one because he's a little pissant kiss ass. Like, he's the worst.
Oh, okay.
But this Zazu was like kind of a G. Like, he helped out a lot. Like, he like helped Nala sneak out.
I love Rowan Atkinson, but
he saved Simba. Like, he was.
Oh yeah, I did like how he's a little bit more active.
Yeah, he was like actually like somebody that you would care for. Like, when they were about to eat him, I was actually like, oh no,
you did.
Yeah, I was like, I guess he's not gonna make the second movie. But I was like, I'm sure he'll be fine, obviously. But I was like, I actually cared. Like, whereas as a kid, if Zazu had gotten eaten, I'd have been like, bye. Kind of like how I feel about Sebastian. So maybe they'll make Sebastian better too.
Interesting. Yeah, you have said that, but you really just don't like those type of characters.
I don't like authority figures. I really don't.
Yeah, screw the police. Coming straight from the underground.
Little 5-year-old Benji. No, I'm fine with cops. Just like, they just need to stay over where they are.
I really like Chiwetel as Scar. Mm-hmm. I actually really liked him as Scar. Blasphemy, whatever the hell. You can comment your comments. I love Jeremy Irons, but like I don't understand what British Scar was doing in the original film. I loved him. He was nice, but I really liked angry,
scary, brooding Scar was cool and terrifying, but
you don't like him?
No, he was cool. I just I love classic Scar. Like you can't really beat that at all. This Scar was am I wrong? Please let me know.
No, you know what? Don't involve them, okay? Don't talk to them. We're here.
Excuse me.
Don't talk to the audience.
Excuse me. You guys are here with us. You let us know what you think.
What I think is that this is my issue though with remakes. Let me say this. Did not like this film compared to the original one. However, that being said, especially thought this when your brother called up. People, they're just like, if something is changed, even the most minute, they're like, they lose their shit. And they treat everything like it's holy writ Bible. And they're like, what?
People are actually more okay with you changing the Bible.
Oh, right. People just like...
People get really upset.
They don't like when MJ is not a redhead. They don't like when...
Well, I don't know what's up with Hollywood hating on redheaded women. Like, why are black women taking all of the redheaded women's roles? That's what I want to know. We got Zendaya as MJ. We got the other girl as Little Mermaid.
Haley
when
Bailey?
Am I going to get a redhead?
Haley Bailey, right?
Haley Bailey, I guess
it's
so.
Definitely not Halle Berry, which is what I keep
When am I going to get a redhead?
What's the deal with all these redheads?
With all these not red. Anyways, so are we going to go through the movie really quickly?
No, I don't have... I mean, I just meant from beginning to end, what are things you did like? So
okay.
I liked Scar.
Okay.
I loved Scar. I liked that whole angle of him being kind of like an embittered but almost soldier type leader as opposed to... I don't know, whatever the hell he was doing in the original film, just kind of like being lazy all the time.
Yeah. But I like that because lions are lazy.
They did do it in this one. It was really funny every time he'd be talking.
And he would just sit down. He'd just plop down. I'm like, really?
His animation was cool. Whenever it was on him, I really enjoyed kind of the whole natural aspect of it.
Uh-huh.
It was other parts I'm just like, God, it's just mainly Simba. That stupid freaking face that they couldn't animate.
I was fine.
His father died and he was like,
woo. I think they just kept trying to do puppy dog eyes, but it doesn't work when that's your only face. Like you have to, but obviously they can't make him cry in this one.
Do cats not cry?
No, no. Animals don't cry.
What do you guys think? Do animals cry?
But because I remember when I was watching, I remember it was last night when I was watching it and Simba was crying. I was like, that's cute. Cats don't cry.
Yeah. Cats also haven't watched It's a Small World or have watched what was it?
VR Guest.
What did they reference?
So funny.
They started
singing that. I was like, I'm dead.
So I liked Scar. What do you like?
I liked at the beginning. I loved that they did the same opening scene shot for shot. And at the end, they did the same closing scene, shot for shot.
Not shot for shot. They didn't have the whatever fruit that he clicks open. And Rafiki didn't have his staff. Can anyone tell me that?
It was shot for shot, and they changed one thing, which probably was because it was more accurate. They probably don't have whatever fruit that was.
I don't understand. So here's the thing.
I'm not done. So I loved that. I actually remember. It was 2 hours ago. But when it first started opening and I was realizing that they were doing the same exact opening shot for shot, for some reason my brain goes, man, somebody had to train all these animals and coordinate them so that they would all jump and look up the same way. And I was like, that would be so hard. And then I go, wait. It's computer animated and they can make them do whatever the hell they want. It was like a quarter second of a thought, but I had just fully that thought, and then my brain immediately was like, what? Shut up.
So I did not like on the whole thing about shot for shot. When Rafiki comes out and I'm like, okay, so he doesn't have his staff. I didn't really care about it at all. I was kind of initially I went, But like I said, I'm not the type of person who's going to sit there and just bitch and moan about every change. I was like, whatever. They're trying to go for a more naturalistic approach.
Yeah.
Fast forward to an hour and 30 minutes into the film, And that guy is like, my old friend, reaches and gets his old staff. And I go, old friend?
Excuse me.
We haven't even seen this thing. Now we suddenly want to throw away the pretense of realism. He couldn't have had that staff the entire film. Why didn't he have it? Why did he bring it up at the end? Was that a payoff for the character? Was that a payoff for us?
It was definitely just a payoff for us and because he had to fight. But I loved my thought when he pulled that out because it was right after they were all like, we gotta fight for the Pride Lands. Like, everybody get ready to fight. And then it cuts to Rafiki in his like little tree and he like reaches down into this compartment and like, I don't know why, but my brain was like, that nigga got a gun. I was like, he's about to pull this gun out, start popping niggas. Pop, 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 pop. Oh my gosh. Call back to Guava Island and another Donald Glover movie.
Yep, there we go.
I was like that, and I told you, and you didn't laugh as hard as I wanted you to, but I thought it was really funny.
When you first said it, I kind of laughed in the theater. But then when you said it to your brother on the phone, I laughed, but then immediately got angry because I was like, damn it, save that for the camera, you idiot.
You dummy.
You jerk.
I was like, if anybody watching this is some sort of like animator or like Photoshopper or something, I need you to please take that clip and change it so that he pulls out a gun. I'm dead. And just change the word so he's all like, okay, we about to fight for the Pride Lands. Click, click. Clack, clack.
So we get the whole thing. Like I said, I loved all of Scar's interactions. Mufasa, yeah, that stuff kind of fell a little bit flat. I still like anytime they were physically interacting.
Yeah.
Because I really did like the realism aspect of it in terms of watching these live animals kind of do what we assumed they were doing in the animated film.
Yeah.
And there were parts of that worked. If they had just tweaked.
There was just a few from...
They would have just tweaked the facial expressions a little bit on that one goddamn...
Because you can play it up a little bit. Like, I understand that you want it to be real, but it is still a movie.
Right.
Maybe, like, make Simba's eyes a little watery. Maybe, like, give him, anything. Like, something. Like, maybe, like, conch his eyebrow or something to make him look a little more angry.
But, yeah, that whole thing kind of fell dead for me.
Oh. Also, he didn't, like... another reason, he didn't like pull his dad's ear or anything or like try to like move him. He just kind of stood there, which like I think that was like the hardest part was when he was literally like trying to make him get up. Like that was sad. Like
that was really sad. There's something about so the thing about remakes, like I said, I don't treat them like they're holy writ. I'm excited to see what people do differently. Mm-hmm. However, there are changes that I go, it's kind of like, and I've said this analogy before, where it's almost as if it's a greatest hits album a lot of times. And they go, look, we got all the big stuff, but they miss all the stuff in between. So it's not a full album. It's a greatest hits album. So you don't see the connective tissue. And another example I would want to use is it's like Coca-Cola. Originally contained cocaine. Now doesn't contain cocaine.
So Lion King would have been better if they just put the cocaine back in.
What I am saying is that now the title of Coca-Cola means nothing. It literally just means the drink. It doesn't have any reference to what the drink contains. It's kind of become like a bastard. It's like one of the timelines from the Marvel universe. It just ventures off into its own thing. So
this Lion King didn't contain lions nor kings.
Gosh darn it! If you'd like, let me finish.
I don't want to.
What I'm saying is when they kind of are doing this shot for shot, but they don't include lines like Scar saying only the bravest can go venture out into the wastelands. He didn't say that. So then you have this like branched off thing where it's like, yes, they're going through the same motions, but you don't have the internal struggle of Simba being like, I have to prove myself to be brave. So when he mentions later, he's like, I want to be brave like you. I'm like, did you? I didn't know that. Yeah. And they're just coasting on the name. They're like, Coca-Cola, Lion King. You remember what it was originally like.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
I feel that because when he went out to go to the elephant graveyard, I didn't know why, but I was like, for some reason, I don't know why you want to do that.
Right. The only reason we know why is because we watched the original stupid movie.
I will say, while there were parts like that didn't hit like they did originally, there were other parts that they added in, especially around
the second half,
around when Nala. So yeah, the second half when showing like back at the Pride Lands when Simba's absent, showing what happened while they were gone, why that happened, and actually kind of foreboding that and like foreshadowing that when they were talking about the hyenas, and they were like, oh, hyenas are never full. Hyenas eat until there's nothing left. Like, you guys have eaten everything in your land. That's why there's nothing here.
Yeah.
And kind of being like, this is what's going to happen if you let them in. And then you let them in and they're like, hey, you're over hunting. Like, we don't have anything. Right. Because in the other one, it was just like, oh, everything sucks because the king sucks.
No, there were changes they made that I really liked.
And they very much, and they like said like Mufasa, he was like, Mufasa like is too like kind and he doesn't hunt enough. Or he didn't say he doesn't hunt enough, but he said something that implied that he's too modest, I think is what he said. And it was like, like with hunting, because you can't overhunt or else you're not going to have any food. And it did feed into that whole, I will say this film did much better than I think other remakes did in terms of like justifying the themes. That the whole circle of life thing felt more real. Like when we fast forward to Simba being a grown up, and you can hear kind of that like, I just loved the way Donald Glover performed and like delivered. There was this sadness in his voice that if anybody actually follows Donald Glover as a person, not just as an actor, you know that he kind of carries that with him anyway. He's a really smart, really intelligent, kind of depressed young man. Yeah. And you felt that. You felt this weight of like someone who has the makings of a king but doesn't believe in himself. Oh, fast forward to the end when he says, I am nothing. When Scar basically bullies him into saying, what are you then? It's like, I thought he was going to say I'm a murderer. And when he said, I'm nothing, I went, that was like a knife that just drove into me. And that, you're right. They did do stuff that really went, oh, I like what you did. Like even expanding Timon and Pumbaa to be like, if there was a circle of life, then that means that what we're doing affects other people. And explaining kind of showing a little bit more of that, like the why Hakuna Matata isn't necessarily always the best policy, or like what that lifestyle is, or what that means to them, or what Simba is thinking, and how that like interacts and contrasts with each other, and why they can't coexist like that.
I will say though, oh my God, no, you know what? No, I'm sorry. What were we gonna say?
What were you gonna say? No, I'm done.
I will say, here's another Coca-Cola moment that really pissed me off, and it was from the second half, and I was like, damn it, it could have been perfect for me. Can you tell me why in this film the song is called Can You Feel the Love Tonight, when that entire scene took place at God Twilight?
Wow.
Sorry for cussing. I love you, Jesus.
It did happen during the day.
I love you, Lord. And I apologize to my Christian friends. But can you tell me why that song took place during the goddamn daylight?
I was distracted. Like Beyonce was like, you feel the love
I might have to bleep. I was, and it pissed me off because they did so well. I loved them.
Yeah, they sounded great together.
But I was watching it just going, why is this taking place during the day?
It was that was one of my concerns, not the daytime thing. But no, I was like, with Beyonce, obviously we're gonna get a great Can You Feel the Love Tonight. But I was like, also, that's not really a full song. Like, literally Nala has one verse. So I was like, obviously they're probably going to have them sing the actual chorus of it, and then they extended the chorus. But I was also like, that's not enough. If you're going to get Beyonce on here, she needs to sing more. And then they had Spirit. They had another song. So I was like, good. Then I'm satisfied.
That's what made that scene even more frustrating for me. I loved what they were doing in the second half of the film. I really loved them together. It was so beautiful. And I was starting to get chills, but then something clicked in my mind. I went, wait, why is it still
not even nighttime?
And it wasn't just like that was another instance of them being like, see, we got you what you want. I'm like, but you didn't understand why it was there in the first place. You spent so much time asking whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think whether or not you should.
That was a quote from one of the Avengers movies, and it was Tony Stark. That's correct.
Oh my God. I don't even know if you're kidding. Are you not kidding?
Did he not say that?
No. That is Jurassic Park.
Oh, but it's the same character. No, it's not. It's Jeff Goldblum.
Guys.
Well, that was our last episode.
This was our last episode. Oh my God. Why do I?
But they're like the same character. They're like
similar. I was like, I won't.
Very similar personalities.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Downey Jr. said he had inspiration from Ian Malcolm.
So anyways.
We're getting around 40 minutes.
Okay, so quickly, I want to address a few things I heard that were concerns from an actual avid fan of The Lion King.
Okay.
Somebody who it's their number one movie.
You mean your brother?
My little brother, yes. He was very upset by the fact that a lot of the lines didn't hit the same, they didn't hit the same way because they weren't said correctly. Like even Mufasa, James Earl Jones, played by the same person, wasn't saying his own lines like correctly, which I guess he didn't want to come and reprise the exact same thing.
Yeah,
but
they
it's
could have literally just taken his recordings
exactly
from
and just been like, here you go, it's still him. But like, I just talked to him and now I'm not remembering what he said to me. But basically, one thing was when Scar.
I know what you're gonna say.
When Scar was about to like throw Mufasa off the freaking the cliff. He didn't say when he said, Scar, he didn't say, brother, help me, which is like a really big thing. That was like big because that's like a callback to like the kind of Cain and Abel like brother relationship. Yeah. That's
he said
also,
brother.
He did not.
Did he?
He said, Scar, help me. And that was it.
Oh,
he didn't say brother. And I very distinctly was like, wow, because that was kind of an important like, hey, brother, help me. And like me and my brothers quote that all the time. And then
it's weird because like there's some things that like I could care less that they changed,
but some things like really hit. There was another quote that they missed.
Well, when he says "Long live the king," it didn't hit the same way.
Yeah, because he didn't just like "Long live the king" and then throw him. He like moved his hands and like bitch slapped him or something, and then he fell.
Well, he said like long. I don't know how he said it, but it didn't hit the same way Jeremy Irons did.
It wasn't like you got to be nasty about it. And then the hyenas didn't say, if you ever come back we'll kill you. Which is just like a fun one.
My third Coca-Cola moment didn't piss me off as much, but kind of made me wonder, like, I get when you change something and it makes sense, but when you do it just close enough and then you change it for no reason, I go, and I can't stress, I don't want to be an asshole. I get it. You're a filmmaker. You're doing your damnedest to make the best film that you can. I don't want to be the guy in the peanut gallery.
And you know what? This is in no way the last Airbender.
Dear Lord. So I'm not just sitting here nitpicking changes for nitpicking's sake, but here's another Coca-Cola example. They go into the elephant graveyard. First off, they don't show an elephant skull. Whatever. It's animated. They could do whatever the hell they want, but they don't. So he's going through the elephant graveyard, and then he goes into the shadows, and then they set up the line, danger. I laugh at danger. Ha, 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 ha. Pause. Nothing. And then the hyenas, and I was like, okay, maybe they're changing the way the hyenas show up. They still show up. They could have laughed, but they didn't. Why? Inexplicable. The only reason they kept that line is so that she could reprise it later.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's just another instance of like, we gave you what you want. It's like,
yeah, but if you're gonna hit a point, hit it the same.
Like, why would you why would you still set up something else and then not pay that off?
Well, what's funny is it hit more like I thought it did as a kid, because for some reason as a kid, whenever he said, I laugh at the face of danger, ha 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 ha, and then the hyena started laughing behind him. And he immediately like freaked out and ran away. I was like, why is he scared? It was just his echo. Like,
you actually thought it was his echo?
I thought it was his echo until like they started walking out. And I was like, oh. So it was interesting that it was an echo this time. And I was like, oh, see, I was right. I was just 20-something years early.
I don't want to just be here bitching and complaining for no reason. I get it. They're going to change things. I don't really care. I'm all for you doing a different thing. I'm not just going to be the guy in the audience making it harder for you. It's just really
it grinds my gears.
It grinds my gears because a good screenwriter, good filmmakers, they're not just throwing these out there to be scenes. These scenes are not just independent of themselves. A good film is like a machine. It's like an enormous clock.
Oh my god.
And all the gears mesh together.
That's from The Incredibles.
Thank you, Benji, for being right for once. On a quote.
I quit.
No, the gears, they're supposed to work together. So you take one out, then you need to know what you're replacing it with.
Yeah, true.
You can't just be like, take this out and be like, but we left the big gear. It's like, yeah, but now the big gear has no purpose.
Yeah.
And it's just there. Case in point, why are they singing Can You Feel the Love Tonight when it's not even nighttime? It should have been changed, but they're not going to change it. They're not going to be like, can you feel the love today? I was going to say midday, but I knew you were going to say today.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I matched with you. But yeah, they're not going to change that because like, oh, no, we can't. Oh, we can't change that. That's holy, holy scripture. And they'd be right because we don't want to hear Beyonce and today. Yeah, we don't want to hear them sing that. But they'll change for some reason the entire purpose for the song and be like,
I think they just wanted to make it less sexual because clearly them lions got it on.
I just
in that field,
legit.
We all know.
You know what? No. Jon Favreau and whoever else was a part of that decision. I like you, Jon Favreau, but I need to know why you changed that. I was paying attention to the story too. I get because logically, I guess you probably wanted to have more time setting up like the sun sets, then Mufasa happens. No, actually, no, it doesn't even make sense because the sun hasn't set. They sing their song. The sun barely has set when he's chasing Rafiki, and Rafiki shows him his father's reflection. But then, inexplicably, the sun's back up, and he's like, I'm going to go run after Nala, and we're going to go to my kingdom. So I was like, I thought maybe they pushed this tonight part because logically they were thinking of the timeline. They didn't even use the nighttime. It literally was like day, 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 night, day, day, day.
I don't even think it was night. I think it was just cloudy.
Pissed me off. I don't freaking understand. Was it supposed to be the same day? I don't know. Doesn't matter. They changed it, and I need to know why. That grinds my gears. It's not the most important part of the movie, but it shows me that the filmmakers didn't give a shit. I'm getting really passionate because this is the issue I see in every movie nowadays. They just do things. They just do it and they go, yeah, but we gave you what you want, so that's cool, right? And it's like, no, you didn't pay attention to the subtext. You don't know what you're doing.
I just want to see Rafiki pull out a gun. But no, I will definitely probably be the one ranting for not the next one because Mulan's coming, and then probably a couple other things.
I don't know.
When
at this point they're killing me inside.
When Little Mermaid comes, I'm super excited about Mulan.
That's probably true because I don't care about the Little Mermaid at all. Really. Yeah, I don't. It's not anything.
So it's gonna be my mantle to yell about.
We're trying to switch this up, guys. Yeah. Josiah is usually really. I spend a lot of time.
Josiah's a super chill person usually.
Well, not that people know me, but when I know I'm being recorded, I'm like, I've got to see. I have to play devil's advocate. Not today. I like the second half of the film, but you fumbled it.
So not today, Simba.
Not today, Simba.
Yeah.
You have any other notes before we kind of
know? Any final thoughts? I really enjoyed it. I think we hit everything that I wanted to mention.
I mean, I guess since this is a pop culture podcast that explores the impact, I don't know. What do you think people are going to give a shit about this in 10 years? How do you think kids are going to deal with like these films and remakes? Like, how do we deal with it? I mean, there's clearly more than one Mummy film out there, but we do only watch the Brendan Fraser one.
Yeah. That is interesting, but I also think that because films and remakes are really up to the parents, I do think that the original cartoons, because I'm not gonna show my kids remakes until they are already fans of the original cartoons.
I'll show them the first half of Lion King, pause it, show them the second half, but then pause it again, show them Can They Feel the Love Tonight while listening to the soundtrack of this one.
Oh my
and you know what? I'm just gonna edit this. There's not gonna be
I was like, you're gonna have to put it all together in a pretty little package and give it to him. Like my little brother, like he was obsessed with Barney, and like when he was like a little kid, and we had to keep them on a loop or else he would scream. He would scream as soon as the credits started rolling.
Is this the same little brother that watched Spider-Man and killed it for you?
Yes, absolutely. So he would scream from the second the credits started until we found another tape, put it in, started it, and Barney started singing again. He would scream. So we took a 4-hour VHS tape and recorded every single Barney tape we had back to back to back to back.
You
with
did that.
No credits so that he would shut the hell up. Wow. That's commitment, and that's what you're going to do for your kids with your Lion King Frankenstein mix. And I'm just going to give my kids all the originals. Are going to grow up with them. Then when they're about 10, I'll be like, oh, by the way, there's real life action versions of all of these movies. Here you go. And they're going to get to enjoy them all at once.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's say, why don't we end on what's your favorite aspect from the original and the new one, starting with the new one?
Favorite aspect of the new one? I think I really loved. I did really love Timon and Pumbaa. I think they really made this movie for me. Especially the whole in the jungle song when they were going all out.
My god, that surprise attack from Nala. There's an update that was really
that
good.
Was great.
That was a fantastic way
because we knew it was gonna happen because that's when it happens in the original. But also I was I knew it was gonna happen. I was like, oh, Nala should be coming at some point, and then I got lost in the song, even though I knew it was coming, and I was like, oh shit, there's a lion.
Everything they did with Timon and Pumbaa, and I'm gonna piggyback off you. That was my favorite part of the new film too.
Or are you gonna warthog back on me? You said piggyback.
Clever.
Warthog. Okay. Anyways,
no, everything they did with Timon and Pumbaa showcased really good creative differences. Where they were like, we're gonna change it up. We'll keep it the same, but we'll change it up. And we know what we're doing when we're changing it up.
Mm-hmm. Where they really leaned into the whole Timon taking all the credit for everything good in their relationship.
He was so funny.
Whereas because in the original one he does do I have an idea, we should keep him after Pumbaa has already said it.
Right.
And then
hear me out.
That was the only time that Timon did it in the cartoon.
Right.
But in this one he does it literally every time.
Because their characters are the ones who don't think about.
Yeah.
They think about
exactly.
just
They're
themselves.
selfish.
So when they show up at the end and they're like, we actually care about you, I was like, see, that's good filmmaking. You set something up, you pay it off. You don't just go, here, you wanted this? No. You got... They were great. I love them, and I will watch this movie again just to watch them because I freaking loved Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen.
I would love if they would do Lion King 2. I'm pretty sure they won't, but also I would love that because that's my favorite of the Lion Kings.
They'll do a Lion King 2 most likely, but it's not going to be...
I doubt it. I honestly doubt it.
You don't think they're going to do a sequel of any kind? I was just going to say they'll do a sequel, but not the one that you want.
What do you mean? They'll do a different one?
I think they'll make a second film. They're just probably not going to follow Simba's Pride, that story. Just the same way I think they're going to do a second Aladdin, but I don't think it's going to be exactly the Return of Jafar.
I wouldn't think that because Return of Jafar was kind of a not really their finest. As in, you guys didn't really like it that much. I don't think it followed the story necessarily for you guys.
Right.
It wasn't an Aladdin movie necessarily to you.
Right, no.
So I don't think they would follow that. Whereas, Lion King 2 is better than the first one. Fight me.
Whoa.
Fight me.
So then, rewinding back, what's your favorite aspect of the original?
I really like adult Simba. I've always liked adult Simba. I thought he was really cool looking. I don't know why.
Oh, you mean just the way you love, but you also love for Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And
Disagree.
obviously nothing can beat the original Can't Wait to Be King ever.
I
like what they did in this. It was cute. It just wasn't there wasn't really anything they could do to make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really like also at the very end because they can't do facial expressions at the very end. Simba and Nala stood on a rock and just looked at the camera. And I was like, do you guys want to maybe smile or give us the old razzle dazzle, give us some jazz pause or something? Nothing. Okay.
Jazz pause.
Cool. We're done.
My favorite, rewatching the film last night showed me how little I just didn't appreciate the filmmaking that they did. It's an animated movie, but it hits a grand epic, unlike any of the other Disney animated films. And I still consider Aladdin to be my favorite Disney film.
Yeah.
But this one rewatching, I just was like, Josiah, you were wrong. The Lion King is epic.
Yeah.
Is an epic film. And the wildebeest scene, that is just the
so
build up,
good.
the rock shaking, the just the eeriness of watching him go down that gorge and head towards Simba, and the shot, oh my god, I can't remember what the shot's called. It's whenever you zoom in and you pull out at the same time.
Oh, I think I kind of know what this is. I can't think of
I can't remember it. Oh god, filmmakers are gonna hate me. It just went out of my brain.
Depth of Field, right? No.
Anyway,
it's called something like that.
That shot whenever it zooms in on him, it just, that whole scene is so epic. And last night when we were watching it, I was sitting there just it was starting to hit me, not for the same emotional reasons, but with the exact same energy as Toy Story 3. it was hitting me with just that, like, this is such a grand epic. It's a different set of emotions. This was just the terror. Like, I felt like I was just as terrified as Simba and as Mufasa. It made me kind of like, it made my stomach drop almost.
On the new one?
The animated film. No. The new one, like I said, up until that moment, I was just kind of like, this film's whatever. And then Timon and Pumbaa came in, and I was like, okay, this film's pretty good. But nothing. I mean, it's actually going to be a while now until I find another scene that actually hits, any scene, live action or not, that hits as hard as that wildebeest. Yeah. Wildebeest scene?
Wildebeest.
So that's my favorite. Quickly, least favorite moment from the new movie.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. Quickly for you. What do you think?
Can you feel the love tonight?
Really? Just because it was during the day.
To me, it showed that the filmmakers went, hey, we gave you The Lion King.
I don't think anything actively made me mad about the movie. I think I enjoyed it.
Followed up by Simba's damn face, or lack of it.
It really only bugged me in a couple parts. Obviously, the part where his dad died, which wasn't so much his face necessarily. It was just the fact that they didn't really, I don't know. He didn't do a lot when his dad died. He just kind of stood there.
It's like, hey, man.
Hey. That was the other one that he missed, was like this, help, somebody, anybody. He just goes, somebody help. And I was like, hey, you gotta really lean into that loneliness and that despair of like, there's no one to help. There was that, the end of Just Can't Wait to Be King. They just kind of didn't have a reaction there.
They were kind of just like.
Yeah, when he was in trouble with his dad. And, like, he kind of just sat there looking, like, didn't have a facial expression, which, like, when we were watching it last night, he sinks down.
That
and,
doesn't
like,
even
looks
take
scared.
Facial expressions.
Well, the funny thing is because I was like, that's the face my dog gives me when he poops on the floor. Like, I'm like, that's a reaction that any animal can have.
Whoever was animating Nala, whoever was in charge of animating her, actually put effort into, like, making her body move. I think the animator on Simba died, and they were just like, well, shit. He's just standing around.
Just use that one on everything.
Any final, not thoughts, but do you have a message for what did we learn today, kids? Benji, did we learn anything?
I didn't learn anything. I did learn really quickly, though, that Lion King was kind of a low-key ripoff of Kimba the White Lion. That was I don't know if it's a series or anything beforehand, but a little bit of research done by our sources in Texas. My little brother.
Your research was the hour phone call that you had.
But also that one was like, I think it was partially animated and released by Disney, just with another company, like, and they released it through Disney.
You're literally just quoting your brother.
That's what I'm saying. Research is done by our sources in Texas, and
your
I'm
source
quoting
might be so wrong.
And I don't know. I trust that he read or he watched his YouTube video and parroted the information to me correctly. So, feel how you want about it.
What a professional podcast this is. All right. So if you guys enjoy this if you enjoy listening to this as much as we enjoy making it, then please be sure to like us, follow us. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast or watch us on YouTube.
As long as you listen to your podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, or iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
Yep. That's what you got to do. And it's at Pink Popcast.
Popcast, P-O-P, people.
P-O-P, people.
Yes. On all social media. I mean, you can look up the Pink Popcast on YouTube, and you will find us, and hit the subscribe and notification bell.
And leave us a review and a rating and a review.
Leave us a rating and a review on Apple iTunes. Definitely comment. We love those. We have some ratings now. Did you want to read a couple?
Do I want to?
Yeah, we said we would read our best and our worst. We don't really have worst yet.
True.
Which, by the way, reading all these good comments made me realize I really like good comments. So let's say, keep the good comments coming. We're going to read those.
No, you already said it. The cat's out of the bag, Benji.
All right. Read two from the bottom, and then we'll read two at the end of every episode until we catch up.
Gab ZZ Sleepy Girl says, fun concept. I love the idea of this podcast. I love movies and can remember how certain ones really spoke to me growing up. A great film can shape culture. I know it's not a film, but I'd love to hear a podcast talk over the series When They See Us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we haven't watched that yet.
You had to read that one, and now we have to do that.
Shit. Now we have to. Because I think it's a big culture shifter. I actually have been meaning to watch that, so I'm excited to do that. It's interesting to hear how popular films also impacted others like me. Yeah. Definitely worth a listen. Well, thank you, Gabs, sleepy girl. And
thank you.
We will do When They See Us.
We will at some point do that. So
when we watch it, then we'll see it.
Keep listening and stay awake, sleepy girl.
Sleepy girl.
All right, so we got another one from Is Who I Be. I wonder who that is. Says good vibes. I actually really like their commentary and relationship. The sound. Oh God, they sound like they work well together. So that's a plus. They have a good sound to them, and I will definitely be listening to more of the future episodes of this podcast. Thank you, Is Who I Be.
And we love you, random citizen.
Keep listening, guys. One more?
Yeah. We're going to do the worst so far. It's not really.
Is that the one that I was saying should be the worst?
We'll get worse, I'm sure. The more people listen to me not remember things in this episode.
So the title is...
Too much pink, but plenty of entertainment.
So thanks to
Matthew Backus. Matthew X Backus.
Thanks for the honesty and the upfrontness. We will work on the pink.
Love hearing these dudes' passion for the entertainment industry and such a solid lineup of guests.
Woo!
Whoa! Thanks, Matthew X Backus.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
All right.
I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, that was fun.
So yeah, we really appreciate those, honestly, and we had a really fun time doing these.
Yeah, it was super fun.
So thank you guys for tuning in.
It's been real. I'm Benji Jones.
Oh, I'm Josiah Rizzo.
And on Wednesdays, we wear pink.
But today's not Wednesday.
So we don't wear pink.
Party on, Wayne.
All right, play us out, Benji.